Oh, you talking about that time that Tony Stark had to learn the difference between a god and a man in a metal suit, aren't you? Oh yeah, this was a good one. You see, we open up with Iron Man rolling up on Thor. And he just like, bro, we need to talk. And he looks at Thor and he's just like, but before we get to business, man, I just gotta tell you, it's really good to see you, man. You know you the homie, it's been a while. And it's just good to see you doing good, Thor. But when I tell y'all Thor give him that look, I mean, we talking about a bombastic side eye here. And I'm not gonna lie, through Iron Man off, he was like, no good to see you too, friend, nothing? Okay, cool. But again, that side eye. This side eye should have let Tony know, bro. And Tony's like, all right, cool, bet. Well, let's go ahead and get to it. You didn't really think you was just gonna be able to bring Asgard and sit it down in the middle of America, did you? Like, sure, might be floating a few feet above the ground, but like... And Tony continues telling him, bruh, I really could make this a big problem for you, but I ain't even gonna do that, seeing as you the homie. So, what I am gonna tell you is, how about you and me, like old days, we go out here, handle some things, kick ass like we used to, man. Because, I mean, to be honest, it's either that or things become an issue. And I don't want things to be an issue because, again, you're my homie. So, what's up, man? We about to roll out or what's going on? But that's when Thor just closes his eyes, reaches for his hammer, and it's here where the aura farming starts. Thor looks at Tony and he's just like, so, things have changed quite a bit, man. First off, you started hunting down and beating up all of our homies, even killing a couple of them, and locking up other ones, regardless as to whether or not they fought on our side back in the day or not, huh, Tony? And when you think that that will be enough, oh no, Tony, you went even further, much further. And when I tell y'all that Thor got Iron Man over here wishing he wore his iron brown pants, but nah, bro, Thor not done. He continued to tell him, you took my genetic code without my permission, without my knowledge, then used it to create an abomination, an aberration, and an insult. And then you told the world this was me. You defiled my body, my trust. You, Tony Stark, have defiled all that I am. And that's when that man Thor starts turning up. He asked that boy Tony, is this how you define friendship? Is it? Answer me, Iron Man, is it? And Tony was like, okay, I can see you upset. Maybe we can just talk about this, bruh. But no, Thor is not the god of language in reason. Thor is the god of thunder, and he hit that man with the Karakum. Hit that man right in his rib cage with an uppercut so vicious. Literally sent that man flying up out of there in a spiral of lightning and shame. But he was able to gain his bearings. He was just like, you know what? I was hoping we was going to be able to talk about this. But since you want to run them, then let's run them. And he blasts Thor all in his mouth. And he was like, yeah, I told you, bro, thing different around here. And Thor standing there was just like, yup. Iron Man was like, cool, say less. You can catch these hands then. Start speed blissing at that brother, but Thor won't play in none of that. Hit that man with a ting. Had brother bouncing off of rooftops and everything. And when I say this man crashed into the ground looking pitiful, ooh, apparently not all the shock absorbers in the world could keep Tony from feeling that one. And when Tony's just like, damn, Thor, you been working out? Thor was like, nah, see, the thing is, always just took it easy on y'all. You know what I'm saying? To make y'all feel better about being around a god. But today, Iron Man, I'm about to show your ass what time it is. And that's when his suit was like, it seems as if the god is correct, Sir Iron Man, because we're detecting an electromagnetic pulse in 3, 2, and Iron Man was like, ah, shit. That lightning bolt hit that man. Tony had him like, ah, Jesus, Buddha, Zeus, Vishnu, somebody help me. And when I tell y'all this man was fried up and crispy, Thor yoked his ass up with the quickness, started straight up strangling that man and pulled him in real close, ripped his damn face mask off, and he told him, "You give your orders and ultimatums to those who choose to obey or are too cowardly to fight, not me. Or learn again the difference between a god of thunder and a mortal man in a metal suit. And as for your masters, since power is all they understand, then tell them Thor says this." And when I say Thor had Tony's full attention, he had this man's full attention. But he tells Tony, if anybody who thinks they're powerful brings their ass to Asgard looking for some smoke, I promise you within the hour they gonna know what real power is. I will split these skies open so that I might teach you people a lesson. And trust me, there ain't gonna be nobody who's able to run from this lesson. So, Tony, for their good and yours, I suggest you let them know, bruh. Me and you been fighting side by side for years. I suggest you let them know just what it means to be a god of thunder. And as for your whole Civil War thing, I ain't got no interest in none of that. As a matter of fact, I'm remaining neutral for the time being. Don't make me have to reconsider that. And while giving this man a stare that would scare hella, he dropped that man. Had that brother on his knees, and he's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. I gotta compromise. Check this out, man. He was like, look, bro, I could just go talk to the government. We can make Asgard its own sovereign nation. That way, people would have to go to the proper channels to even come on the property, bro. Like, nobody would ever come up there giving you no problems, no beef, no nothing like that, man. How's that sound to you? Bro don't even look at him. He's just like, that's fine. You can go. And when that man says, but Thor, my suit's all messed up. How do you expect me to get back to base? Thor, again, without even looking at him, just says, he just tells that man to walk. And Tony's just like, shit, say less, okay. And he start walking his ass home back to base, and Thor's just like, hey man, also, I don't want you to think that we not gonna continue this conversation we was having, because we are. You just so happen to be lucky that I have more important things to do right now, okay? And what Tony was just like, okay, Thor. And well, they went their separate ways. So yeah, when it comes to one of my favorite Thor moments of all time, it absolutely had to be the time that Thor showed Tony the difference between a god of thunder and a man in a metal suit. But what about you guys? What is one of y'all favorite comic moments? Let me know down in the comments. And with that being said, Excelsior War Corps. I'm Amar Soti. I'll catch y'all later.